Hello, welcome to Digital Learning. I'm Connie Kolosey, Director of Media Text and Digital Learning. In our show today, we are going to be learning about a new resource that's going to be available to Pinellas County teachers for the 17-18 school year. And I have with me to help us today is Kevin Haugabrook.
Hello.
And Kevin is a Technology Integration Coordinator in my department, and Corey Appelbaum,
Hello.
who works with Safari Montage. And so we're going to share a little bit about this new resource. So Kevin, we've kind of been on a journey, and
Yes.
Can you give us a short recap of how we ended up working with Safari Montage?
Well, short recap being that we started out this particular school year working on a project that's called Beyond the Classroom. And we were giving an initiative to actually look for resources that we can get into the hands of students. So we looked and searched and we found many resources, but we also realized that the resources that were available and considered free were overwhelming. And what we decided and what we realized through our search is that we needed a resource, or we needed software, a platform. Not only could we provide teachers with exactly what they needed, but we also wanted to provide those same resources for students. So something that they can access not just at school, but at home when they're with grandmother, or whether they're at tutoring, whether they're ELP or YMCA, any place. So it's a 24-hour accessible platform for students to get extended learning.
Excellent. So in our search, we learned a new term that I had not heard before called a learning object repository.
Yes.
So review, what is that?
So it's a new term to me that we call the LOR, L-O-R. And the learning object repository for us is the ability to take resources that we find and to be able to put it in a particular place, use a server that everyone can access. So now teachers have the ability to find resources that they really do love or enjoy or have created in the past. So really it's anyone in the district, whether it's a smartboard lesson, whether it's a PowerPoint, whether it's a great Khan Academy video, they can actually put this into the LOR and they can share this with other teachers, but more importantly, students have access to it as well. So it's a great idea.
So what are some of the challenges that teachers have faced in the past when they try to access the various resources available to them? Because there is a lot available.
Yes. So one of the challenges in the past is that we were able to provide resources to teachers, or teachers were able to find resources, but it wasn't on a district restricted platform. So it could have been something that teachers were using Dropbox, or they were using Google Drive, or they would have to create maybe a website in Focus, which could be a little difficult. And then they had many different ways, but the accessibility wasn't always easy. With this LOR, it becomes a lot easier now.
For the teacher and the student.
Absolutely, for the teacher and the student. I'm excited about it.
Okay. So Corey,
Yes.
Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
And you kind of know really the nuts and bolts of Safari Montage. And so how have other districts used this product?
Okay, great question. And we are very happy to be here. Other districts throughout Florida, Orange County Public Schools, which is right down I-4, using this as basically their backbone. They use this as the LOR. They have about 30,000 lessons already inside the LOR. And this is where they go to for their content, they go to for their playlists, and they go to for even professional development and learning opportunities. Lee County down the road, Lee County uses this as they call it the single pane of glass. So they get their textbooks through Safari Montage, they get their third-party platforms, they get their Google Classroom or their Microsoft Classroom coming, or whatever they might use through Safari Montage. And they're really finding that, as you said, as Kevin said, the ease of use, that it gives teachers one place. I know Lee County, you showed me once a document they would give to new teachers in the first day of school. And it was 2 sides, and it was nothing but links and passwords. And imagine a new teacher coming in fresh from the profession, and they see this overwhelming. I think you used that word overwhelming. You might have used the word overwhelming, but that's what it is. And this is that one place where you can access all of your content, anything you need in class, put it in a playlist as we'll get to later, and really make it ease of use for both teachers and students.
And I know for me, if I'm trying to use something digital and I'm in a hurry and I just really need to get the job done, and I'm not really looking right this second to learn a bunch of stuff. I just want to get what I need when I need it.
Yes.
And if I encounter a setback, I will just say, never mind.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to do that, and I'm going back to the overhead.
Absolutely, and that reminds me, and I taught for 10 years in a different county in Florida, Broward County, and same thing where I would have Plan A was being innovative. And innovative involved, I had a bunch of different tabs open and resources, but of course, if one didn't play or I felt pain, I would go back to Plan B, and Plan B is not innovative. And too many teachers, when given that choice, will use Plan B. And obviously, we want to be innovative. This is digital learning, and this kind of alleviates some of those pain points and gives you that one single pane of glass where you can access and avoid having that problem. Because inevitably, for teachers, it's going to happen. And it will happen when you're being observed by the principal in the back of the room, and it won't play. And it's just too many variables, and there's already enough that high pressure, and you want to have something where you can go to it and easily find it. I'll get back to your shelving analogy later on, but that's kind of what I've been using ever since we spoke.
Oh, good. I'm glad I gave you a talking point.
Dr. Kolosey talked about shelving it. I think you're there.
And sorry, here's my example about what a lure is.
Yes.
All right, so a lure, as I get it, you walk into, you have an empty closet, an empty room, and there's nothing in it. And you want to put your stuff in it, and you can pile up the boxes or put it on the floor or whatever you want to do. So you go, well, this isn't going to work. So you go down to Home Depot and you buy the shelves and the hangers and the things that you can put your stuff in. Well, now you have a place to put your stuff. You still don't have any stuff. Yeah. So the lure, the Learning Object Repository, is that shelving, those drawers, that place to put your stuff. Then we need the stuff. So let's talk a little bit about the stuff that Safari Montage is going to provide for us.
Okay. So you want me to go and show, or just talk about it first? Or
yeah, let's go ahead and take a look.
Okay, and the stuff, so we'll show you Safari Montage and show you some of that shelving unit. So so here is your desktop, and this is brand new for 2017, our new enhanced desktop. We've noticed feedback. Teachers, students like buttons. We like ease of use. Notice with these buttons, this is good for not only a desktop, but for a device. You can imagine students with BYOD, whether it's an iPad or an Android device.
Bring your own device.
Sorry,
BYOD, yes. Bring your own device.
And I'm glad Kevin mentioned that. In education, we use a lot of, a lot of initials, whether it's Allure or LMS or BYOD, and it's funny you have that industry slang, so to speak, where you talk, but yes, the BYOD, meaning bring your own device, for your LOR, your Learning Object Repository. We could be here all day doing that. Of course, your PD being professional development, so I got to learn to stop talking in abbreviations.
Yes.
So here's your shelving unit, and we'll talk about what you can put inside Safari Montage. So you see here, we have these icons. This is called customizable, so for Pinellas County Schools, you could change the logos, colors, and really make it adapt to your environment.
So whatever we have is what will show up here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so whatever you have. So you can take out the video conferencing. You can have this as Pinellas County TV or whatever you may call it.
Wow, somebody might have easy access.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
It's all right here. And you see also, we have both turned on here, but you will have your Microsoft apps turned on. So you mentioned about putting stuff inside that closet. Pinellas County is a 365 district, is that correct?
Yes, sir. So
with that, you see I click on this, and we are fully integrated. I'm going to use some more initials with LTI and IMS Global Standards. That's the big push.
All right, so give us the short version of what those are.
So IMS Global Standards, there used to be a time where everything was in its own silo. And you had different products in their own spaces. And for districts, you might talk about overwhelming. For choosing, you have to choose different platforms. Now we want to make it ubiquitous where you can get into one platform through standards. So an LMS, an SIS, like Focus here in Pinellas County, can all work together. And that's where it's through what's called LTI, or Thin Common Cartridge. Okay. And more districts are leading the way to demand that everyone goes, because it only makes sense to have everything work together and not in their own silos. So in this case, Microsoft, you see here where it's all integrated, whether it's SharePoint or PowerPoint, through your Safari Montage user. And to kind of bring it all together and show you how that looks inside of search. So if you ever go on Safari Montage's website, you'll notice that they're very big on frogs. Our brochure's got frogs. For whatever reason, frogs have become the de facto logo for Safari Montage. I'm going to search frog through a keyword search here. And you see here, I have different items for frog. Now, this is some of that stuff inside. So this is our Safari Montage content. You also have images, audio. You have your own files, which that's where you bring your own content inside that shelving system.
So if I am a teacher
Yep.
that has developed a lesson on frogs,
Yep.
and I want to be able to find it again next year,
Yes, yes, exactly.
or I want to share it with colleagues,
Yes,
or as colleagues we have developed a lesson together, this will be a place
absolutely.
where we can push this out.
Absolutely. And I can show you how we do that.
Okay, so, and this I might be jumping too
Yeah.
far ahead here, but in such a case as that, will individual teachers in schools be able to have their own files, or is it just the district that has files? How specific is our shelving unit?
Okay, so good. I like keeping the analogy going. So every teacher has what's called My Files. And you'll see here, if I go back to the dashboard, what you do is a quick upload or My Files. And this will
Okay.
bring you, this is where teachers will have everything they put inside. And from there, they can correlate the standards, they can add metadata, they could add user rights, and they can share out to different groups of students, professional learning networks, third grade team, fourth grade team, so on and so forth. Students have what's called My Locker. So the terminology is different, but they can put all their own. So they can build a playlist and submit that as an assignment, so to speak.
Oh, okay.
So it's all right here inside My Files.
So the teacher has My Files and the student has My Locker.
Yes.
Okay.
And you click on that, and on this My Files here is anything that this teacher has brought inside. So you see here whether it could be a PowerPoint, it could be whatever they brought inside, a JPEG, an image inside their files, and so on. We also have autoconverters, so all these PowerPoints are automatically converted into PDF. In case, for that BYOD, obviously not everyone has Microsoft Office, so you can still view it on any device.
So
Yes.
let me make sure.
Yes.
This is a time for me to put in a quick plug, and then we're going to take a break.
Okay.
Every Pinellas County Schools student
Yes.
with their R2D2 license has the ability to download Office 365 on up to 5 devices.
Oh wow, that's
And
great.
so on BYOD, on your tablet, on the computer at home, they can access Office 365.
Oh, okay.
So we're just getting going on this, but we're going to take a quick break
Okay.
and come back and dive in deeper.
Absolutely.
Okay. So stay tuned, and we're going to learn more about Safari Montage.